I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Kelly, and we are back with another video. Thank you guys so much for checking out my channel and clicking on this video. If you're new here, please go ahead and smash that subscribe button, guys. If you're into things like true crime stories, politics, and news commentary, I think you would greatly enjoy, and I would very much appreciate that. And if you are not new to the channel and you are a returning listener or subscriber, thank you, as always, for being a friend, guys. That really does mean so much to me. And just make sure that you guys are still subscribed. Go follow me on Twitter, Rumble, all of that good stuff. So we're going to get into a little something today, guys. You know, I just, as you can see from the screen, we have two very bold, brave, and stunning individuals, okay? And I wanted to get on here and talk to you guys about it because there was a video that Matt Walsh put out, an interview with this person we see here next to him on the screen, and it was very inspiring. And I just want to start this video out by saying that, you know, we are getting into one of the scary topics on YouTube, okay? So I just want to say first and foremost that trans people are the most beautiful, the most brave, and the most high citizens in our entire culture, like in the world, really, in the universe, the galaxy. So they are really, you know, their rights matter more than everyone's. So I just want to say that. I just want to get that out in the open and just say that I have to be kind of careful with what I'm saying on this video. And there might be some censors or some, you know, some edits that might take place depending on where this video goes. But just if you want to watch the whole video, or if there are any censored portions, you guys can catch it all on Rumble. So let's get into it, guys. This guy here, or I'm sorry, this woman, came out as, yeah. Well, let me just let you guys see. Let me just show you guys so y'all can, you know, really understand the majesty in this person. Okay, let's just get into it. Indiana Republican Ryan Webb. Well, this is rude. Mocks the left. I don't find it to be a joke. Washington Times. Okay, so let's see what the news report actually stated, because that's very transphobic, that headline.
A councilman is coming out as transgender and a woman of color. Delaware County Councilman Ryan Webb announced that he now identifies as an Indian American woman.
So brave.
Since that announcement, he's received some support, but a lot of backlash, many calling him childish.
You know, it's the misgendering right now from this news quote-unquote reporter, for me, you know, very bigoted. Not cool, ma'am. As a woman of color yourself, I think you should reevaluate the way that you use his, you know, her pronouns. Okay? Just food for thought.
Despicable, even calling for things like execution. In a statement Webb gave to ITMate, he says, quote,
guys, I mean, come on. It's undeniable. It is undeniable. Let's just look at the before and after. Where is it? Where did it go? I mean, just look at this. Are you guys going to deny this woman here of her truth? Come on. Let's be real, guys. It's obvious.
In a statement Webb gave to ITMate, he says, quote, "It is unfortunate that I cannot simply be given the same space and respect to explore my identity that so many of those targeting me demand for themselves. It's possible I may change my mind down the road. The process of identity exploration is complex, and oftentimes at the end of our personal journey, we end right back where we started." Webb goes on to tell ITMate this is just his true, authentic self.
You know,
a councilman is
so true. You know, snaps for Ryan Webb, living her truth like a beautiful woman often does. So let's get into the interview, guys. Without further ado, let's let. Oh, and first of all, I just want to show you guys. People were not happy about this. Okay, so there was reactions. Okay, from some angry TERFs. Okay, these women here were being very transphobic, and they were speaking out against this. I mean, look at this one right here. This is obviously a beautiful woman. No question about it, who wanted to deny Ryan Webb of his truth. Okay, very, very rude, very bigoted. I'm just saying. So, we can see here, people were not happy, but that wasn't going to stop Matt Walsh from delivering the long-awaited interview of the century. Some are even calling it, okay, with this beautiful trans woman. So let's get into it, guys. We're reacting to this.
From the moment she decided to live her truth, Ryan Webb knew she was in the fight of her life. Living under the oppression of heteronormative standards is considered business as usual to most women. But Ryan faced a different learning curve. Many of the everyday experiences of women were new to her because until a few months ago, this lesbian woman of color identified as a cisgender white man. Ryan knew her stunning bravery would make her a target, but she never anticipated the amount of hate she would face from her new community.
Oh my God, what a story to tell.
This is a big moment for Ryan Webb. Agreeing to an interview after revealing her identity as a transgender lesbian of color requires a different sort of bravery than we normally see in the political.
Like the buffoonery of this entire thing. It's really delivering some sort of like life to me right now. I mean, it really is. I just must say that this is an excellent tactic. This is very, very good stuff right here. People, it's like everyday conversation on Twitter about like, are people too focused on the culture war? Are people too focused on like this one issue? And should we be worried about other things? And blah, blah, blah. That's fine. We can have that debate. That's like, and depending on the day, I could go either way with it. But when there's good content and when you have something like this handed to you on a silver platter, you take that and you run with it and you eat that shit up. Okay, I'm just saying, it's like this is too good not to. I mean, it's like a moment that can't be wasted. Okay, it's just this is Keck in its purest form. And the way that this interview is being conducted, like the music, the Matt Walsh with this, like, I don't know, the way he's delivering these lines, chef's kisses, literally chef's kisses. It's beautiful. It's stunning. It's brave.
Local world. What is it like to be so brave?
Well, I've never really looked at myself as being brave. I just simply
She's so modest.
Declare how I see myself and my own expression of my own gender identity. And I didn't look at it as being brave. Now I've been told by others that it is brave. And for those people, I appreciate that. But, I was immune to seeing it from that perspective.
Perspective is something that can help all of us understand Ryan. Her life story is sadly all too familiar. A young woman of color stuck in a society that doesn't see her pain or hear her cries. Sitting around the dinner table at night, did you have a chance as a family to talk about things like gender identity, gender fluidity? I'm sure that probably...
Aren't these topics that every family goes through, guys? I mean, just think back in your childhood, right? Like, didn't we all have this talk with our parents about our gender identities and whether or not we were our sex that we were, given at birth? I mean, this is a normal dinner time conversation we all have, right?
Believe it or not, we didn't. At that time growing up, I don't even know if those words were spoken with the familiarity that they are today.
So
Things we
tragic.
talked about was, what we're going to have for dinner, what things we're going to do together later as a family, maybe what family program we're going to sit down and watch together for the evening.
I mean, how do you survive an environment like that?
Those are the things we talked about.
The political arena became the perfect place for Ryan's internal frustrations to play out. Years ago, identifying as a cisgender white man, Ryan burst onto the scene fighting corruption and seeking fairness in local politics. But while fighting the good fight for her constituents on the outside, Ryan was fighting a much bigger battle on the inside. And it was only after being elected, in fact, relatively recently, that you started to realize that you're actually a woman.
I've always felt something, and you know, I wasn't quite sure what it was. And I've been hearing lately, in the last year or so, over and over, that, you know, only a woman knows what a woman is. And I knew I was feeling something, but I didn't know what it was. So I thought, well, let me check into it. So I tried to look it up, and I couldn't find anything anywhere describing what a woman was. So going back to that statement, only a woman knows what a woman is, I thought, well, I'm definitely feeling something, so this has got to be it.
You came out of 3 closets at once. Woman, woman of color, lesbian.
The reason why I identify as the woman of color is because I have a Cherokee bloodline, Native American on both sides.
Wow.
My great-grandmother on my father's side was a full-blooded Cherokee Native American. And recently, we had done an ancestry DNA test, and that helped me recognize that it's my 4th or 5th grandfather, great-grandfather, I can't remember which one it is, but he's actually chief walking stick of the Cherokee Nation in North Carolina. So being as that I had Cherokee on both sides, I thought, you know what, this is awesome, and that allows me to classify myself as the woman of color.
What a rich family heritage, am I right? I mean, just, this is, you know, diversity is our greatest strength, is what I'm told, guys. And it's just so true. It is just so true.
That I am. What makes me the lesbian is the fact that I am still madly in love with my wife, and that'll never change. I'm still attracted to her as a woman.
Navigating her new identity as a lesbian woman of color came natural to the councilwoman as well. What was the process of understanding the transracial identity in particular?
You'd have to recognize that being a lesbian woman of color does, you know, affect 3 different protected groups and classes. Now, because of that, I've come out and been recognized as the first woman of color in the history of Delaware County Council. Now, I don't believe that they're going to give me any awards for that, but it's possible they may name some local park after me or something. We'll see what the future holds.
What's really brave about you is that you came out as a trans woman of color, and yet you have changed nothing about yourself physically. So you're just literally the exact same person, but at the same time you're a woman of color.
Matt, that sounds you're treading very lightly on turf territory, buddy. You might want to check your white male privilege at the door, okay? Sir, before you condemn this woman and her looks, she's obviously a beautiful woman.
I did take the step of changing my name. I used to go by Ryan, which would be Ryan, the male version, but now I'm using the name Ryan, but it's the female version.
Yeah, duh.
Same spelling.
Same spelling.
When you're out in front of an issue like this, there are always going to be people that doubt. What's your response to them?
Well, I would say I've heard that. And to that, I would say it was just a few short years ago that they said that you couldn't identify, a man couldn't identify as a woman without taking the steps necessary to do so. And that's no longer true. I mean, I'm living proof of it.
The gender identity is one's personal sense of one's own gender. Let's say it again. One's personal sense of one's own gender. Doesn't say, doesn't have to be affirmed by anyone. It doesn't say everyone has to agree with it. It doesn't say everyone has to take you serious. It says a person's sense of his own gender.
Although Ryan served as a beacon of hope to some,
I would like to commend you for the strength of character that you've shown, Councilwoman Webb. It is indeed a brave and courageous act to come out in times as they are.
her entire existence was challenged by others.
You are a public figure. You work for us.
Excuse me.
You should be fired.
Absolutely
He's
not.
flaunting the minority, lesbian
Hello?
as such, as the first council person as a lesbian. With his facetious claim that he identifies as a woman of color, he has made a mockery of his constituents as well as his elected position and this council.
Honestly, that kind of took me by surprise.
Yeah, all I saw was 3 turfs, okay? Because women, how dare you, okay? I saw another very beautiful, woman. That other article that we looked over, that was she's been accepted in the community. Why is it a problem for some and not for all? Let's not practice hypocrisy, everyone, okay? If you are against one case of it, you have to be against all of it, or else you can shut your mouth. And we obviously can see, guys, with our own very two eyes, it was the women that were coming up to protest, okay? There was another man, a man who came up and spoke in favor of this woman's right to choose her own gender identity. But the three other women, they're the ones who all had a problem with it. But I guarantee you that, for another trans woman, they would have no issue with it. So what's the big deal? Please explain it to me in the comments, guys.
I thought that I would have been accepted and celebrated, really, for the groundbreaking nature of what it is. You can imagine my surprise when the local leftists and liberals united attack against me. They coordinated efforts online to try to cancel me, embarrass me, shame me, bully me, to get me to back off.
Of all the comments Ryan heard that night, she is still haunted by one in particular. I have to warn you, what you're about to hear is disturbing.
At the county council meeting, there's a transgender person there, Charlie, just a couple of years ago. Charlize told me that for me to be accepted in their eyes, I would have to change my pronouns and take the hormone treatments, change all my documents.
Oh, really?
Last week,
Oh my God.
Councilperson Ryan Webb
Hello?
announced publicly on social media and to several news outlets that he now identifies as a lesbian woman of color,
Oh, really?
retaining his male pronouns and bragging that he is now the first, this is a
Imagine just going into this city council meeting with just a regular issue. Imagine just being a regular person who just wants to come to the city council meeting to bring up a problem about drainage in your front yard, or you want to talk to the city council about zoning or some shit like that, and you have to sit through this buffoonery, this utter shenanigans of epic proportions. I mean, I could not even imagine. Me personally, this would be something that I would be elated to see in person, but I couldn't imagine you're just everyday completely unpolitical person who has probably no idea or any sort of opinion on any of this shit, sitting through this meeting. It's just the idea of it just I don't know, it makes my heart happy. It really does. Just because people have to be knocked over the head with this shit. It really, that's what we've come to. There's no other way, because you're telling me that these people have a problem with Ryan Webb, making a declaration of their gender identity, but this person here can throw on a wig and whatever's in his shirt, or that bra right there, I don't know what it is, but it's okay for them to throw on a wig and, dress like a lady and then call himself a lady. That's okay, but it's not okay for Ryan Webb. Why? Because he's wearing a tuxedo? Have you guys never seen a butch lesbian in a tuxedo? Have you guys never seen a butch lesbian at all? What's y'all's deal? It's giving bigoted. I just don't know what to say. Like I said, it's the hypocrisy for me. So if we're going to protest some of it, and, certain circumstances, then you have to protest against all of it. You're either okay with it or you're not. Pick a side, ladies, and those gentlemen who may be on, in this confused camp as well, because it's just giving, utter confusion from you. You don't really know what you want. You don't have a point. You don't stand on anything substantial. All you have is your leftist ideologies and your, surface level thoughts about the issue. There's nothing there substantial to stand on. So maybe think about things in that way and then reevaluate your position, because it's utter foolishness and nonsense.
a quote, LGBTQ plus woman of color to ever sit on the Delaware County Council. He is being disingenuous, and his words not only embarrass himself, but you, the county council.
To see that kind of bigotry coming from such a beautiful woman was really
startling to
hell?
me almost.
Matt
I
Walsh
couldn't
go to
believe
hell.
that Charlize was willing to
Oh my God.
lay out requirements to be accepted moving forward. So that was shocking to me.
Now that she has publicly made her transition, Ryan hopes to use her voice to inspire others in the fight for anti-racism and shine a light onto the unique hardships faced by women today. Now, we have seen other minorities struggle for acceptance. Elon Musk, for example, rarely is included in the conversation about African Americans. You've been on both sides of the spectrum now. What is it that you think men in this country need to know about the lived experiences of women?
It's not been all that it's cut up to be. Everyone thinks there's a lot of advantages to come with being a woman, but for me, these last 3 weeks, it's been a little difficult. You know, for one, my wife's been having me cook a lot more, and number two, nobody's been taking me serious on anything I'm saying. I've had a hard time getting people to believe me when I tell them that this is my true, authentic self.
If you're telling me that yourself as a BIPOC woman, your experience for 3 weeks has been rejection, hatred, people not taking you seriously, let's say you've had a pretty authentic experience.
Well, you know what? I appreciate the perspective. It allows for a complete paradigm shift that I hadn't contemplated before.
No matter what her detractors say, Ryan is proud of who she is and even more optimistic about what the future holds. What does the future hold? We talked about history. What does the future hold for Ryan Webb? Are there any other closets that you might come out of in the future?
You know, this process of self-discovery, the journey of gender discovery and gender identity, it's complex, and oftentimes it takes us places that we never intended to go, and who knows? By the time this is all said and done, I could end up right back where I started.
When I think of the great female civil rights heroes of our time, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Susan B. Anthony, Ryan Webb.
You know, I can only hope to be put up there with some of the legends of our time, but you know, we'll see. You know, history has a funny way of shaking out over time, so.
Hello, I'm Matt Walsh. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you can get all of our brand new content the moment it's released.
You know what, Matt Walsh, you're a fucking clown, and I love it. I love that from you. You know, you are, you know, sometimes get on my nerves. I'd say 90 to 95% of the time, you are great. And this was one of your best, okay? Just epic stuff. Epic proportions of, you know, throwing it back in people's faces, guys. So, what are your thoughts on all of this? And, you know, some of the arguments that I made personally, because it's like, I think that, you know, this really does a great job of highlighting it because, like I said, it's okay for some, you know, like, is the only standard for people to, like, for a man to dress like a woman and throw on a wig and, or maybe even some makeup? Is that the only standard that it takes for people to respect somebody when they say, or to listen to somebody or believe somebody when they say that they are trans? Because let me know. I mean, because that's absolutely ridiculous. You will respect somebody and you will say that they're a woman, use pronouns that they demand that you ask them to, or that they demand that you use. One can make an argument that he looks like a butch lesbian. He does. I mean, he looks like somebody, I mean, easily could be a butch lesbian. And because he's not wearing a wig or a dress, you don't believe him, or you have this perception that he's joking. So where does that line actually start and where does it end for people that have this ideology? And I don't know if anybody who's watching this video actually has these views. If you do, I would love for you to comment down below. Here's 2 more pieces of evidence we can submit to the jury, okay? So the first one here, Florida man wins women's poker tournament, okay? This man right here, okay, entered into a poker tournament that was supposed to be for women only, and he, I guess, identified as a woman. I don't know. Let's read, okay? So, Florida man is facing backlash after competing in a women's poker tournament and winning. David Hughes participated in a $250 buy-in Ladies No Limit Hold'em event at the World Series of Poker ladies event at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino and Hotel. So, Hughes, a 70-year-old from Delton, Florida, was allowed to enter the all-female tournament alongside 82 women. Per its anti-discrimination legislation, Florida casinos by law cannot ban men from entering into a woman's tournament. And look at this. I mean, she's beautiful, right? So I don't know what his agenda was. I don't know what his thinking was behind this. I don't even really know if this was just like him trying to be funny, if this was him trying to prove a point. I don't know. But it just highlights so well the lunacy and the absurdity that is this life, this culture that we are, just allowing to go on in this country. And we are feeding into this bullshit every single time we allow this to go a step further. Anti-discrimination will allow men to enter into women's tournaments, and it's just bullshit. Absolute bullshit. So the women at this tournament were not happy. You know, there was very much outrage over this. One woman put a $300 bounty on his head, and other people matched this bounty, meaning that they were deliberately trying to take him out and get him to lose so they could, continue with just women in the tournament. And after doing all of that, he still went on to win and was awarded with, what was it? $5,555. So this man right here won the women's poker tournament, guys. And that's not all. We have transgender cyclist Austin Phillips has finished in first place in the women's category in the tour of the Gila. Phillips broke free from the pack late in the final stage of the tour in New Mexico, clocking in at 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 16 seconds in a time that saw her take the top spot on the podium ahead of Marcela Prieto and Cassandra Nelson by a margin of 89 seconds. That's a lot. The elite level road race came with a whopping prize money of $35,000. And this was the first time that these women had been fighting for years, because this is a tournament that has a men's heat and a women's heat. And they had been fighting for like a long time to make it to where that the prize money that was awarded to men and women were equal, because for the longest time the men were receiving a larger prize than the women were. And after it was finally said that it was going to be allowed for the women to have the same prize earnings as the men, what happens? Well, a man enters the race and he takes home that prize money. This is what we're dealing with, guys. This is it right here. Okay, this right here. So, what do y'all think about this, guys? I mean, look at how far he is ahead of everyone else. Just look at it. Just look at it. Okay? I mean, what do y'all think, guys? Is this fair? Is this what we should continue to perpetuate in this country? Is this something that seems right or good to you guys? Please let me know in the comments down below. And what did y'all think of the I mean, absolutely. I mean, I just cannot get over the beauty of Ryan Webb. Y'all, let me know if you guys agree. And do y'all see my point about the whole hypocrisy element to this? Because I think it's pretty clear how, this just kind of flies in the face of what people with that ideology are trying to argue, and it shows that it's utter nonsense. I mean, if this doesn't kind of start to wake people up a little bit, then please let me know how you would argue in favor for your position over this one, because it's without completely disregarding the hypocrisy notion. I would love to know. So until next time, guys, y'all make sure y'all are subscribed. Please like the video if you liked it. Comment, follow me on Twitter, do it all. I would so very much appreciate that. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.